1 2 3 माइक चेक होने के बाद अक्षित सिन्हा जो कैमरा के पीछे बैठे हैं उन्होंने ऐसा थम्स अप दे दिया है एंड दिस इज अ ब्रांड न्यू एपिसोड ऑफ क्रैकिंग कॉन्वर्सेशन आई एम आबिर लहरी जॉइनिंग मी टुडे इन कॉन्वर्सेशन इज आभास मलदहियार बिल्कुल प्रोनाउंसिएशन सही लिया
Absolutely
विद दिस
correct.
ब्रांड न्यू बुक बाबर द चेस बोर्ड किंग ये उसी बाबर के ऊपर लिखी गई है जिनके बहुत अलग अलग रंग आपको अक्सर मीडिया में सोशल मीडिया में और पॉपुलर क्या बोल सकता हूँ पॉपुलर कॉन्वर्सेशंस में मिल सकता है कोई उनकी तारीफें करता है कोई उनको बहुत बड़ा कॉन्करर बोलता है कोई उनको सो कॉल्ड गालियां देता है और 50 अलग अलग पर्सपेक्टिव्स हैं बट हु वाज द रियल बाबर उसके बारे में आज बात करेंगे वेलकम टू एपी लाइव पॉडकास्ट क्या हाल चाल
All good, and I'm so glad that I'm here and talking to you, Abir, and I'm looking forward to have more conversation about this
बिल्कुल
contested man, Babar.
बाबर what exactly who exactly is बाबर मतलब there are different definitions of बाबर किसी से like हम कुछ देर पहले ही बात कर रहे थे अगर आप लेफ्ट से बात करें तो वो कुछ और बोलेगा राइट से बात करें वो कुछ और बोलेगा सबकी एक फिल्टर है दिमाग में उसके थ्रू ही वो कॉन्वर्सेशन जाता है और वो नैरेटिव जाता है बट हु एग्जैक्टली इज अ बाबर सिंस यू हैव डन योर रिसर्च और वो हिस्ट्री के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से कौन है बाबर
बाबर जैसे सबटाइटल में जो मैंने लिखा है द चेसबोर्ड किंग सो इट वाज वेरी एप्टली पुट और ये जो सबटाइटल है वो बाबर को बहुत अच्छे से डिफाइन करता है
ओके
because the people who play chess would know that the king is not the very powerful one and king की हैसियत बस ये रहती है कि वो एक घर आगे एक घर पीछे आगे पीछे 45 आगे पीछे वो कर सकता है एंड उसके पास हमेशा एक टेरिटरी एक घर रहता है सिमिलरली बाबर ऑलवेज हैड वन टेरिटरी ऑल द टाइम एंड ही वांटेड टू एक्सपैंड but he could never do it. And it would happen that at some time he's in Samarkand. While he has conquered Samarkand, then he comes to know that Andijan is in threat. He will go towards Andijan. Till the time he reaches Andijan, Samarkand will be lost. Back and forth. He will go to some other place and that will be lost. So that's the reason why Farishta, a great Muslim scholar of 17th century, called Babur the chessboard king. And there are multiple layers to this character for sure that one, he was a very good family man.
Okay.
Unlike the Central Asian rulers of that period, he was a very good family man. He was a great poet. But apart from this, he was Islamist too, which cannot be denied. And he wanted to expand the empire of Taimur to Bharat.
ओके
So these four ambitions can precisely define this character of Babur. That he was a family man, he was a great poet, he was an Islamist, and also he wanted to expand the empire of Taimur into Bharat or Hindustan.
ओके जो बाबर के ऊपर जो सबसे बड़ा एलिगेशन लगता है वो ये है कि बहुत सारे कत्लेआम हुए यहाँ मारे गए वो मारे गए आर देयर एनी एक्चुअली लेयर्स टू दिस एंटायर फैक्ट या यही फैक्ट है
लेयर्स इस तरह से आते हैं जो बाबर 11 साल की उम्र में है 11 साल की उम्र में उसने अपने पिता को खोया है 1494 का वो साल था जब उसके पिता उमर शेख मिर्ज़ा की मृत्यु हो जाती है वो एक फोर्ट से गिर जाते हैं वाइल ही इज टेंडरिंग हिज पिजन्स वो पालते थे और वाइल ही इज फीडिंग देम ही जस्ट फॉल्स एट फोर्ट कोलैप्सेस एंड ही फॉल्स एंड Babur gets to know because later on because he's not exactly at the spot.
Okay.
And that's where people begin to conspire against him that we will not let Babur sit on the throne. So his other relatives, the nephews, cousins and everybody is behind him. And while these all are happening, his grandmother takes care that Babur needs to come back to the throne and she starts taking care of him. Now he grows with a lot of adversaries. There are a lot of challenges in his life. Of course, one challenge is to get a territory, get his own home, which is Andijan. He wants to be on that throne all the time. At the same time, he wants to get Samarkand because that's the land of Taimur, where Taimur used to rule from. But
and Andijan is in
Andijan is it was
modern
a part,
day कहाँ पे होगा?
Yeah, modern day it is upwards towards say the Russian land.
Okay.
It used to fall in the USSR long back.
Okay.
And Andijan happens to be a very important land from the point of view of the communist movement too.
Okay.
Because and that's where the nuances come. In 1925, the USSR communists burned the veil, say on the woman's day in Andijan, that is the land of Babur, saying that woman needs to live the free life. The veil is not something great.
Oh.
So, but it's very interesting layer as in how the discourse has changed with the time, how the communists would see it today. And it is coincidentally happening in Andijan, the land of Babur, which was under the communist regime back then, the USSR, right? So,
Wow.
all this part of, and it all falls under Uzbekistan,
Okay.
obviously.
Okay.
So, he wants to get back his land in Andijan. He wants to get back Samarkand. He has a lot of aspirations. But as he grows, he hears the stories of Taimur. And imagine that a 13-year-old is
From his grandmother.
is being told the story of Taimur, who was a very rabid Islamist. He wanted to spread Islam for sure, which we get to know from his biography. So it does happen that what you are told from the childhood, it starts getting embedded to your mind. But why all these things come into his life? He's also a very good poet. So while he is doing the massacres, which he will do even at the age of 17, 18, he did the general massacres. When I say general massacre, as in it was not about religion to start with, because all he came across were the people who were the Muslim brethren themselves when he was entering Kabul, that is Afghanistan. So he butchered a lot of Muslims, and he says that though they have surrendered, but because they did not bend in front of me in initial time, so I slaughtered all of them. And he writes in a very cold-blooded way. And why I say so, because Babarnama is a diary of him. So वो ऐसा होता था कि शाम में सारे इंसिडेंट्स के बाद he writes a diary. So he's precisely writing, आज ये अफगान थे, वो मेरे पास आए and they wanted to surrender later on, but I didn't accept their surrender. Rather, I beheaded all of them and I made a skull tower of 200 of them. And he's counting them as well. And he's writing it in much of a peace and ease. But still, the religious angle is not here. But the moment he entered into Hindustan to grow the passion of his soldiers, and because he was always inspired by Taimur, that's where he brings the religious angle into it, all the massacres which he did.
And जब ये सब हो रहा था, he was still a poet.
He was all the time poet.
मेरे लिए सबसे बड़ा जो contradiction दिमाग में आ रहा है वो ये है कि how can somebody who's so involved in art and literature be so extreme in gore and violence?
Yeah.
कैसे? Because बहुत rarely ये combination दिखता है कि कोई art या culture में इतना ज़्यादा inclined हो and he is also extremely violent.
Yes, and that is something which even I found very interesting. मुझे भी बहुत interesting लगा, क्योंकि अब आप सोचो, आप दिन भर ये सब कर रहे हो, उसके शाम में आके आप कपलेट लिख रहे हो, और in fact he would frame all those gore and the destruction also in form of couplet at times, in form of the poems. So I would see him as a exceptional character, and this exceptionality can be of, one can see it positive, negative, whatsoever it may be, but लेकिन एक्सेप्शनल कैरेक्टर तो था, that he could write poem in irrespective of what circumstance he was in. That was something I would say a brilliant thing of him.
Then he came to India, भारत.
Yes.
And फिर क्या start हुआ? मतलब since you were mentioning कि फिर religious जो aspect था उसके अंदर का वो shape लेना start हुआ.
Yes. So जब वो भारत की तरफ बढ़ रहा है, और ये भारत के लिए उसने 5 अटेम्प्ट किए, और उसका पहला अटेम्प्ट 1501-2 के आसपास हुआ था, और सब कुछ करते करते 20 साल के बाद मतलब फाइनली 1526 में ही कुड एंटर हिंदुस्तान.
सो मैं एंटर ही नहीं कर पा रहा था.
नहीं. सो 5 अटेम्प्ट उसने किए.
बट ऐसा क्यों?
मेजरली नॉट बिकॉज हम उसको हरा दे रहे थे, बट कारण था क्लाइमेट. सो देयर सर्कमस्टांसेस, जब उसके घोड़े चल रहे हैं तो जो नॉर्थ वेस्ट के जो हिलॉक्स हैं, माउंटेनियस रीजन्स हैं, हिंदू कुश एक्सेट्रा, जब वो वहाँ से पास कर रहा है, वहाँ पे बर्फ इतने आ जाते थे कि घोड़े उसमें धंसने लगते थे.
नॉर्थ वेस्ट मतलब उस टाइम पे पाकिस्तान, जहाँ अभी पाकिस्तान है, उस
हिंदू कुश का रीजन उस तरफ. सो घोड़े बर्फ में धंसने लगते थे. कई बार क्या हुआ कि उनके पास खाने की कमी होने लगी दूसरे कैंपेन के समय, तो दे वुड स्लॉटर हॉर्सेस, ईट देम. फाइनली दे कुड फाइंड दैट उनके पास हॉर्सेस ही नहीं है आगे जाने के लिए. सो दिस मे लुक लाइक अ वेरी बिजार रीजन फॉर द पीपल, बट लिटरली ये सब कुछ कारण थे जो उसको चैलेंज कर रहे थे आगे बढ़ने के लिए। मतलब कोई कैसे सोच सकता है कि उसके पास घोड़े नहीं है इसलिए वो आगे आना बंद कर दिया, बट दिस रियली हैपेंड। सो इस तरह के एडवर्सरीज थी, और फाइनली 1526 में जब लोधी से उसकी युद्ध होती है, वहाँ पे लोधी को परास्त कर देता है। और जब मैं बाबरनामा पढ़ रहा था, वहाँ पे मुझे एक इंटरेस्टिंग एस्पेक्ट दिखा। इन लोगों ने एक स्ट्रैटेजी बनाई कि जो पानीपत के एक छोर पे विलेजेस हैं, उसको एज ए ह्यूमन शील्ड वो यूज़ करेंगे।
Okay.
So Babur was very brutal when it came to fulfill his ambition. उसके दिमाग में ये था कि बाय हुक और बाय क्रूक आई हैव टू डिफीट लोधी एंड आई हैव टू गेट बैक दिल्ली, क्योंकि दिल्ली वो जगह था जहाँ पे तैमूर 2 सेंचुरी पहले आया था, उसने कत्लेआम मचाया था, लेकिन वो एम्पायर इस्टेब्लिश नहीं कर सका, लेकिन उसकी ललक थी कि एम्पायर उसको इस्टेब्लिश करना है
दिल्ली में।
यस, तो वो हर तरह से वैसे स्ट्रैटेजी लगा रहा था, एंड ही मेड the villagers the human shield, all of them were killed, none of them could survive that battle, because जो पहला अटैक लोधीस की तरफ से हुआ वो उनके विलेजर्स के ऊपर ही हुआ, and it becomes so ironical isn't it that
बट उससे विलेजर्स को बनाया, मतलब जो उसके विलेजर्स है,
जो लोधी के लिए होंगे, जो दिल्ली के, जो पानीपत के
वो लोधी ने शील्ड बना दिया,
इसने शील्ड बनाया बाबर ने, दैट हम इस तरह से खड़े रहेंगे कि इफ दे वांट टू कम टू अस दे विल हैव टू फर्स्ट डिस्ट्रॉय देम, देन ओनली दे कैन गो अहेड। एंड सो अगेन इट गिव्स यू अ लॉट ऑफ layers to this character of this man, that he was even thinking of using human shields and just to fulfill his ambitions and the desire. And not only that, when he further walked ahead and he gets encounter with Rana Sanga, Maharana Sangram Singh, and there are 2 encounters. One encounter was in a land called Bayana.
Okay.
And in that battle, Babur's forces were defeated very badly. And the defeat was so bad that Babur mentions in Baburnama that when I was trying to assemble the soldiers for the next war, the people who had gone to the earlier battle, that is Battle of Bayana, said that we don't want to go because in our dreams also we see those Rajput warriors coming and killing us. And this is what Babur is mentioning. So that was the fear of those the soldiers of Rana Sanga. And then the Battle of Khanwa happens. And in Battle of Khanwa, Rana Sanga loses the ground and Babur becomes the supreme and he takes the title of Ghazi. And also on the eve of the Battle of Khanwa, he decides that he will leave alcohol because this is against Islam, so I need to become more Islamic.
Okay.
And he says a fatwa is also released and a farman is released stating that Babur has left alcohol. And when to symbolize it, he destroys the pots by putting them onto the floor. And then he says that the way I have destroyed these pots, that's how I want to destroy the idols of the Hindus. You can see the metaphor and he has presented it again as a poem. So he says so, and then whatever he does ahead, he goes on to destroy a lot of Jain temples, a lot of Hindu temples, and he has invoked religion very much. He has used jihad, and he has said that use the terms like wretched Hindus and many such things. So what you see in Babur from at least 1526 onwards is a typical Islamist who wants to establish Islam, and that is Darul Islam by hook or by crook, and he has no apology about it. And you can also sense so because he's writing it very clearly in Baburnama. Yeah.
And उसके पहले वर्ड, मतलब ऐसा तो नहीं होगा कि भारत में इस्लाम बिल्कुल ही नहीं था या बिल्कुल ही नहीं था
नहीं, it was there. And because you asked this, so there's one more interesting facet of Babur. So while he's marching towards Hindustan, there's a region in Bajaur in the northwestern area between India and Pakistan, somewhere around that area. So that's where he finds certain Muslims. He says that because they're not following Islam holistically, so I did the massacre of them. Yes.
अरे तब तक तो वो खुद शराब पी रहा था.
And वो सबसे बड़ी irony है, and it becomes so ironical that he did a lot of things which is un-Islamic, but still when you look at the larger picture of Babur, he wanted to dictate people that you have to follow Islam in the way that I want to see it. And perhaps in that era also, for the elites, a lot of things were easy off, and whether they are indulging in homosexuality or they are indulging in alcoholism or whatsoever. So it was quite clear for the elites that हम कुछ भी करें, लेकिन जो
जो
इस्लाम
masses
है
हैं।
वो फैलना चाहिए, एंड द जनरल मास है उसको उसके ऊपर प्रोहिबिशंस रहेंगे उसके। बट जब वो भारत की तरफ बढ़ भी रहा है, तो जब उसकी दिन की शुरुआत होती है मोर ब्रेकफास्ट विद ओपियम, ओपियम से दिन शुरू होती है, और हर दिन सुबह में वो ओपियम लेते हैं और शाम में शराब पीते हैं, एंड दैट्स हाउ देयर डेज गोज ऑन एंड ऑन।
बाप रे। What about his personal life? क्या थी personal life?
So Babar was a very good family man, I would say.
Okay.
He really cared about his family.
He was married?
Yeah, he was married, and he got married to quite a few people.
Okay.
We don't know about a lot of concubines as well, which he had, and of course he got married. He was in nikah with a few of them. But at the same time, during the first marriage, we get to know that he's a gay.
Okay.
He mentioned in Babarnama that while I have got married to Aisha, but I don't feel like going to her chamber. I don't like spending time with her. और एक महीने में मैं एक बार जाता हूँ, and my grandmothers are not very happy. Grandmothers as in one from the maternal side, one from the paternal side. And that's where I have found a chap called Babri in a camp bazaar of Kabul. And I am maddened in love with him. And he writes poem about it, that how he has fallen in love with Babri. And he explains that when his eyes meets with the eyes of Babri, his eye just turns down because he blushes, and he is not. So he expresses his love, affinity with Babri to a large extent. And because he writes in context to the first marriage, that he's not visiting his wife, but he's spending time with Babri, it becomes quite evident and clear that he was a gay for sure in that part of her life.
Okay.
And and later on, when his grandmother says that you need to start visiting your wife because we need to continue the generation too, that's when he starts a bi-weekly visits. And then further when he gets married in the future, so by this period he's not bisexual perhaps, or maybe he has lost his touch of being gay or what, because we don't have any further instances of him interacting with the men.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and he had lost his father at the age of 11, as I told you in the initial conversation. And because he lost his father at the age of 11, the life became full of adversaries, a lot of challenges, the family challenging him to get the throne, etc. So
प्लस एक वो जो how can I say, एक जो विजडम का सोर्स है वो चला गया।
Exactly.
हाउ टू रूल अ किंगडम वो किसी ने सिखाया नहीं।
वो किसी ने सिखाया नहीं, बिकॉज 11 साल का है वो और उसको कुछ भी नहीं पता है। वट एवर ही इज बीइंग टॉट बाय सर्टन द पीपल हु वर very loyal to his father, they are still helping him out. And but he saw a lot of betrayal as well as the story goes ahead, or as the history of Babur goes ahead. We see a lot of betrayals. His own betrayed him many times. And yeah.
What different shades of Babur जो किसी को नहीं पता रहते हैं, मतलब ऐसी चीजें जो इन जनरल पब्लिक कॉन्टेक्स्ट में या पब्लिक ओपिनियन में नहीं पता रहती, which you actually got to know when you were writing this?
One was certainly about his poetry.
Okay.
Because like Muslim will like to see him as a conqueror, maybe that Hindu will like to see him as a devil, but there is always a layer beyond it, and even the devilish of the people have certain facet to it. And while you are doing a biography of them, you need to address all of them, otherwise it's not a biography.
It's not black and white, it's gray.
Yeah.
Always will be.
Yeah. So he was a very good poet. I was certainly, when these messages circulate on WhatsApp that Babur was gay or homosexual, I didn't took this thing seriously, because I have always been very objective about history. I always believe that unless you get the evidence, ये सब बहुत सारी बातें जो WhatsApp पे
But homosexuality was a criminal offense around that time?
Yeah, it was, because people didn't see it as a great thing, because there's an instance where people in Samarkand have revolted against the empire because one of the prince is indulged with son of one of the mantris or one of the beyks rather. So that's when the people have revolted and they don't want the alleged one to live in the peace, or they want some punishment for him.
बट जैसे एक बार कई पब्लिक ओपिनियन में ये भी आता है कि आज की डेट में सोसाइटी रिग्रेसिव हो गई है. बैक इन द डे मे बी लाइक 500 years before, people were not that much regressive in nature. They accepted who they are. It's a natural orientation and everybody was accepted well. So ये तो contradict करता है इस statement
Yes,
को.
it does. And this was not very acceptable, certainly.
Okay.
And what I see,
Especially if the king is gay,
yeah,
I guess
and
maybe it's
what I really see is that in the Central Asia, people had a lot of footprints of their past. When I say the footprint of the past, of course they got converted into Islam in around 13th century or so, but they still carried a lot of traditions which was a pagan tradition, or which was more polytheistic tradition.
okay.
And also there was not so much rigid dictates that this is how the thing is supposed to be. I'll give you a very interesting anecdote. Taimur was a very ambitious man, and he wanted to fulfill two desires. One was that he wanted to become the Khalifa, that is a caliph, and he also wanted to become the Khan. The Khan as in the leaders of the Mongols.
Okay.
And you can't become the Khan unless you come from the lineage of Changiz.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he was not a
He was not from the lineage of Changiz. So Changiz is in 5th generation of a common ancestor, and he is in 10th generation of common ancestor, but it has all branched out in a different way. Now Taimur, to sort out this problem of he becoming the Khan, he marries into the house of
Changiz.
and gives himself a title Gurkhania. Gurkhania means son-in-law in Mongolian language. So he becomes Gurkhania. He has no power, he controls it, and he puts a puppet in the Mongol Empire that he will just be like a thing, and he's controlling it. Other thing, he also wants to become a Khalifa. To solve out that problem, he percolates a myth that I have been ordained by Allah and I'm almost like Prophet Muhammad. Imagine it happening in the time of now. It cannot go down the throat of the people, but it happened. He percolated this truth, it was accepted, and he solved this problem as well, that he became almost like a Khalifa. He got that power, at least in his region where he lived. So when he established the empire also, he called this empire Timurid Gurkhania. Gurkhania of son-in-law, and Timurid, which comes from his name.
Oh.
And later when Babur also established the empire, he did not establish Mughal empire. We never had any Mughal empire. It's a lie. There was no Mughal empire in India. The empire which was established, it was called Timurid Gurkhania, and Mughals are the people who are Mongols who come from the lineage of Changiz, which was from his mother's side. And the people in the paternal side of the Babur are called Timurid. And in fact, Babur abuses Mughals a lot in Baburnama. He says that wherever the Mughals go, unrest comes. They are not the very people of the peace. So he's abusing the Mughals.
How can he say that?
And he says it because Taimur connected himself with the Persian culture. He did not relate himself with the Mongol culture. Mongol culture was a very secular culture.
Oh.
It was actual form of secularism. Like today in the political scenario, we give different definition to secularism. One is that all religions need to be treated equal and all those blah 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 for the political benefits. We do it. But actual definition of secularism, which comes from the West, which was separation between church and the state. And the state does not interfere in the church as in religion, and vice versa. Mongol Empire of Changiz was a state where you can do any religion which you believe in. You can practice it, but it does not need to come into the public. Culture which will exist will be Mongol culture. Religion will not be imposed. And he killed everybody like a secular, because Changiz was also a brutal man, but he did not kill in the name of religion. And he followed a religion called Tengrism, which was a pagan religion. He was not a Muslim.
Okay. Achha, he was not a Muslim.
He was not a Muslim. So Changiz is not a Muslim. He followed, and there were only two restrictions for the Muslims, that you are not supposed to do the halal slaughter, and you are not supposed to follow Sharia. The rule of the land will be Mongol rule, which is our culture. And though Genghis Khan is called the persecutor of the Muslims, and it's said that Mongols killed the Muslims the maximum, but irony is that certain group of Muslims also gave the title of defender of religion to Genghis because he saved them too. So it means that he was secular. He just killed his enemies, and they happened to be in maximum case Muslims. So that's the reason why they got slaughtered. It was not that he hated the Muslims or he had something like that. So Taimur was very fanatic Muslim. He could not agree to the Mongol ideas.
क्योंकि secular था.
Yeah. So he related himself more with the Persian culture, and that's the reason why when in the Mughal court, or rather I would say Timurid, Mughal, they never used the term Mughal for them.
Okay.
Aurangzeb called
But
it.
फिर आया कहाँ से मुगल?
So what happened that when the Europeans began to write about them,
Okay.
for Europeans race was very important, and racism had begun to live there in among the Europeans in around 16th 17th century, and that's which further goes, and then the Nazism and all also happens. They always saw Taimur and his heirs as a Mongol because they have common ancestors who actually is Mongol. But for the people on our side, Oriental side, say the Asian people or Central Asia and etc., it's culture which always matter. We were not very ethnicity oriented people.
Agreed.
We were always very cosmopolitan.
Culture, yeah.
Culture was very important. So like they wanted to see them more related with the culture, but when Europeans began to write upon them, though Taimur wrote himself to be like a proper Timurid or Taimuria, Babur wrote himself to be a Timurid, but Europeans began to write them as Mongol. And when the history passed on to us, we replicated them and we began to write them as Mongol. And also, there is one very interesting facet. The 18th century European world was very inspired by Genghis Khan. Like we all quote Voltaire as because he is the man for the liberalism. The guru of Voltaire, Dr. Locke, he was compared with Genghis Khan by a lot of people. And the man who compared him with Genghis Khan was the Gibbon. Gibbon was a very famous British historian who wrote a very famous work on the Roman history.
Okay.
He said that we can compare Genghis and Dr. Locke in terms of their ideology because Europeans need expansionism and secularism has to be the core.
True.
So somehow Genghis became a role model for how the colonization needs to happen. And perhaps that's the reason why when people try to secularize, say Babur, etc., though they were very upfront, very clear that, and in fact secularism was not even the norm. It is a moral conduct for today, but it was not something which people were very fond of or they wanted to be known. Like, why will Islamists say that I want to be secular? It will give him brickbats.
True.
Right? So this
But इस मामले में चंगेज खान sorted था.
Genghis, because he was not Islamist too.
Okay.
Because and the conversion happened around 13th century, and this conversion story is also very interesting. I must tell you this. So what happened that Genghis follows a Tengrism as a religion, pagan faith. His eldest son Jochi has got a son whose name is Barke Khan.
मतलब his grandson.
Barke Khan. And that time there is one man called Helgu Khan. He is also a cousin of Barke. Helgu Khan is destroying the Islamic realm like anything. Baghdad is sacked, which was the power seat of Islam back then. The Caliph is no more, is gone. And now the Mesopotamia is in fear, Egypt is in fear that Helgu Khan is going to come, and he is going to destroy. And the word which is in the whispers around the whole area in that period that now Islam is not going to exist. This is coming from the record that people say that now it's in, because if empires will not exist, Islam will not exist. Now Barke gets to interact with a Sufi and he gets converted to Islam.
In Mesopotamia.
Barke Khan is somewhere else and he gets converted and he returns home, gets the news that Helgu Khan has been destroying the Islamic world. He says to his father Jochi that, hey, it's not right. Islam is one of the most proper religion. We need to save it. How can we let it happen? Jochi replies him that Mongols don't cross swords or don't cross the path in the name of religion. Then he goes to his other brother, who is the Khan in that period, the Morke Khan. Morke Khan says the same thing, that we are not going to. Then he wages a war against Helgu Khan. Helgu Khan gets defeated And
और हेलगू खान उसका भाई है.
उसका भाई है, cousin है. They cross the sword in the name of religion for the first time. The Mongols cross the sword, and that's where Helgu Khan loses the battle in around 1260s or something. And when he loses this battle, this campaign of destruction of the Islamic realm stops.
Okay.
Had this battle been other way, what we see history as today would have been very different, because if Helgu would have won, Ottomans wouldn't have existed. Had Ottomans not existed, that World War I issue wouldn't happen. You wouldn't have had Palestine, Israel or anything because
True.
of the Balfour Pact. There are many things. So everything is very much related. But that very incidence of Helgu Khan losing the battle changed the whole geopolitics for a larger thing. And we are not much aware about these certain things, but they really played a very important role in changing the whole geopolitics.
And then how Genghis Khan becomes like the biggest mass destructor of.
Yeah, because Changiz always was in a battle campaign because he wanted to expand the Mughalistan.
पूरे दुनिया में उसको
पूरी दुनिया में उसको करना है, that's why he went on the rampage. But he was again, actually, he was very secular.
Okay.
He never cared that which religion you come from. If you are his enemy, you are supposed to be killed. He was very sorted at that point. But Taimur, in the contrast, was a different guy. He, like his biographer Yazdi says in his biography that Taimur wants to live a life where he wants to Islamize whole of a world, because that's the dictator Prophet Muhammad, and he has to do it. And again, it's coming from his court historian Yazdi. And he says that when he goes on a battle with polytheists, he has different way to deal with them, taking the clue from the holy book. When he deals with the co-religionists, he has different way how to treat with them. So these all are
मारता सबको ही था
लेकिन but there were different ways.
Okay. Negotiation.
Yeah, and that makes it very interesting because Babur followed the same thing. It's not that he's not killing the Muslims. He has killed so many Afghans, right? But different way. When he deals with the Hindus here, he has a different way to look at it.
बाप रे, आई गेस ये कॉन्वर्सेशन चलता रह सकता है, बट समय की थोड़ी सी पाबंदी है. एंड आई गेस फॉर ऑल दोज पीपल हु रियली वांट टू डिग डीप इनटू द वर्ल्ड ऑफ बाबर, दिस इज अ ब्रांड न्यू बुक, बाबर द चेस बोर्ड किंग. दिस इज बाय पेंगुइन. अब्बास मलदहियार इज विद मी. थैंक यू वेरी मच. वॉज विद मी एक्चुअली. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन, फॉर दिस पॉडकास्ट. मैं आपको फ्यूचर में वापस से परेशान करूंगा बिकॉज ऑनेस्टली बहुत मजा आया. नेक्स्ट टाइम यू आर इन दिल्ली, लेट्स अगेन हैव अ like a very long conversation on Taimur, on Babur and on Genghis Khan.
Sure.
Thank you very much, Abbas. Thank you.
My pleasure.